I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
Edition of Box Talk. It's the final edition of this year, this week in boxing for 2014.
Get it right, son. Yep.
Good weekend of fights. On Friday we had Bertie Biev.
Yep.
We had Andre Durrell.
Yep.
And Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah, no, let's be real about it. End of year has been probably, I think, one of the best end of years in terms of putting fight cards together. A couple of weeks ago we had obviously the Amir Khan card, and this week former world champion Andre Durrell, probably going to be world champion Bertie Biev, and ring sort of light heavyweight champion, not my number one but ring's number one, Adonis Stevenson. So look, happy, good card, nice card.
Let's start with
Friday.
Yeah, straight
on
a Friday. Yeah, right. I actually didn't realise on a Friday until Saturday morning. Let's start with Bertie Biev.
Yeah. Look, he got put down in the first. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of these guys want to compare him to the likes of Golovkin and Kovalev and blah blah blah. It's what you do when you do get put down. It was like you said, it was almost like a tangle of legs.
Yeah, a little elbow,
off balance,
push going backwards. Yeah, it was all over it.
And all it did was serve to piss him off.
Yeah.
And he rightly just cleaned the guy out in the second round. And he didn't just clean the guy out. It was cleaning out a guy that we said was trained by Abel Sanchez, so he's got a bit of weight behind that. And the guy was unbeaten. 15 fights, 10 KOs. It wasn't a bum. You know what I mean? He knocked the guy out in the second round. It wasn't a bum.
Yeah. You know, the thing what I like about Bertie Biev is that he seems patient. Even after the first knockdown, he kind of bided his time. He didn't rush. After the second knockdown, he said, look, I smelt for it, and then he turned it up. And I think that's the difference between good fighters and great fighters. They know and can read fights. They know when to hurt someone, when to back up, when to put it on. They mix it well. Yeah. And I think that type of variety holds him well.
Yeah, I agree. He wastes no punches.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've labelled at a lot of our, even like our British fighters, when they see someone injured, they try and throw 1,000 punches to get it stopped.
Yeah.
The first knockdown, he literally just took his time again and then bang.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to go places. There's no two ways about it. The light heavyweight division's a bit thin, so he'll start jumping. Look, he fought Tavares Cloud earlier in the fight before. Don't be surprised if we see this guy in a proper title fight in maybe the next 2 fights.
Durrell.
Yeah.
Andre Durrell. Boxing beautiful.
Yeah.
That's all one word I can say for him. Box is beautiful.
Andre Durrell. Yeah, he obviously I don't want people get excited, because I do get a bit excited watching Andre Durrell. No, because honestly, he boxes the way I think you should box. Yeah. Everything about his technique. Honestly, it's almost like, go watch a video of him, give it to an amateur coming up and say like, this is the style you need to copy. His movement, his fluidity,
his speed.
His speed is stupid.
His accuracy.
But he needs to get a move on a bit.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I mean, he nees to step up in level in competition. I mean, this guy fought at a few losses on his record. Super middleweight division ain't gonna wait for him. He's young, but 31. Hasn't fought for a while. Needs to get a move on.
He's young, yes, but in terms, he's not want to say he wasted because he was injured or he had the
psychological thing. Yeah.
But he had 3-4 years out. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be 2.5. But it was a long wait. Boxing don't wait for no one. Skills don't last forever. Speed and everything lasts forever. I think he's the much more talented out of the brothers. Yeah. And the other brothers got a world title. Not a criticism to Anthony, but yeah, Durrell's the man.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
When one brother's got a world title, now that path's blocked. Yeah. So you've only got 2 other paths there, and those 2 other paths are what? The winner of James DeGale versus possibly I can't remember who's going to fight for the IBF title. I can't remember the Mexican possibly if Froch vacates. And I guess Andre Ward and Froch. There's not many avenues to go, and those avenues aren't easy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, he needs to get moving. Yeah.
Let's go with Adonis Stevenson.
Who?
The fight that I didn't watch.
Yeah.
I'll take the card, watch the card, no interest. Yeah. Sorry. I have never been so disappointed with a fighter in 1 year.
Danny Garcia's close. Danny Garcia runs it very close.
I've got something for Danny Garcia in a minute, don't worry.
Okay. Now, yeah, look, Adonis Stevenson, look, he won. Sometimes it's not the fighters. I mean, we've always said here, fighters want to fight. That's how they get paid. Sometimes it's the people behind them. You're getting bad advice from managers, promoters, and I think he's been badly advised. You're right, you are the master of your own camp, but it does seem with Al Heyman that he's the master of their camps. So I blame him in a sense, but at the same time, look, he won his fight, he gets paid, he's out of there.
I blame him because of his mouth. It's been documented by most reputable writers in the world on various websites. You could check them out yourself on ESPN, on Max Boxing, on Ring News. He talks himself out of fights, i.e. he wants more money, he wants this, he wants that, he wants this, and then he pisses fights away. How can you piss away the 2 biggest fights in the division? Let's start with the news this week. Me, as you all know, I love my magazine, new edition of Ring magazine, and they got in here this week the 100 top fighters in the world. So I was looking at the top list. I won't go through the whole magazine, but I was looking at the top 20 list. And I was looking, this is for 2014, the top fighters in the world, 2014. And at number 11, they got Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, yes, he's talented. Yes, he's a pound for pound. Yes, he could be a pound for pound. But for the number 11, for the top fighter in the world, 2014, considering he lost, in my opinion, to Herrera, and then he had that terrible fight.
Then he beat up 135 pounds.
Yeah. How can you give him credit or give him any ranking and say you're number 11 ranked in the world based on 2014?
Yeah, no, let's have it right. Danny Garcia. I mean, we could go through the whole thing. There'll be others in there.
Yeah.
But in terms of standing out, Danny Garcia is not the 11th best fighter in the world.
This year. Maybe he might. You want to do a pound for pound list. He might be on the pound as the best fighter in the world.
No, I think it is pound for pound.
Yeah, but this is the ranking of all the fighters in the world. But I'm saying,
no, that can't be this year.
It can't be
number 2 though, so it can't be. It must be it must be pound for pound.
Pound for pound. I can't get it. Why would you have Danny Garcia there? Like, I love Ring magazine, but I think that's a big boot.
Yeah, I get that. I think Canelo should be a bit higher as well. Canelo should be higher than Danny Garcia for me. Yeah,
it's a good list, guys. Like I said, pick it up. Now I'm trying to say understands now, but yeah, there's a couple good there. Another thing I would like to about this list as well was in the top 20, they had 3 of the lighter guys in the division, which I thought was really good. You don't see a lot of the lighter guys getting credit, you know what I mean?
They don't.
So it was good to see the likes of Roman Gonzalez in there, Rigo was in there, who else was in there? Nicholas Waters, Michael Garcia, Estrada. I was like, yeah, it's good to see the lighter guys getting credit.
You're right, because it normally just goes to the marquee division.
Goes to the marquee and the marquee names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was good to check that out. Moving forward with the rest of the news for this week. We had
Amir Khan, Kell Brook.
Yeah.
Amir Khan has recently come out and said, look, almost Eddie Hearn, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop what you're trying to do. Stop saying you're booking Wembley. Stop almost trying to pressurise the fight. Yeah. And I'm almost with Amir Khan a bit on this one. I mean, I like big fights. Kell Brook, Amir Khan is a big fight. But I almost feel like it's almost too early for this summer. Kell Brook, for me, has only just arrived in the 147 division. Yeah. Only just arrived at Sean Porter win. Amir Khan, 2 wins. I mean, let Kell Brook fight maybe 2 or 3 more. You know, 2 or 3 more, and then next summer, and let Amir Khan as well have a couple more fights. I think they're trying to book these big fights far too soon when they're just not yet. It's not ready for me yet as a big fight.
No,
I mean, it is a big fight.
It's a big fight, but I agree with Amir Khan as well. I mean, like, if you look at it honestly, and let's be fair, he's now made himself rubber stamp for #1 to fight Mayweather.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna get the Mayweather shot after those 2 performances, why would you go back to Kell Brook? I'm trying to say, it's all good saying yes, it's a domestic fight, yes, it's a UK thing, yes, it will be great, whatever, yes, it will be, but from a boxing standpoint, that's backwards.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, look, Wembley Arena was good and it was fantastic. It was 80,000. Yeah. Nothing, though. If you're a boxer growing up, nothing beats having your lights, name them lights, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, the whole strip. It's what you want. Wembley's a football stadium.
Took money, belts, beating a legend, i.e. if you got the Pacquiao,
in a ring with a legend.
If you got Pacquiao or Mayweather, beating compared to Kell Brook, it's night and day.
Yeah, it is night and day, and that's no disrespect.
It's just the way it is now. I mean, you've got to be fair.
Yeah.
Double standards. I was looking at bloody Wilder Stevenson and like being obviously on Twitter, on the chat rooms, going around everything here, and everyone's saying Wilder's the man, Wilder's the man, Wilder's gonna do this. Now I'm trying to say Wilder's gonna do that, but the same guys say GG ain't fought no one.
Yeah.
It ain't funny how one guy gets all the credit and one guy gets no credit, and it's like, well, GG's actually fought good people and fought reputable people. Wilder hasn't.
You know what it is, and no disrespect to them, but it's casual fans.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat down and talked to Peter Fury the other day, and he was talking about Tyson Fury's winner against Derek Chisora. He said the casual fans might look at it as slow, boring. Yeah. Purists look at it and think that was effective. What he was doing was right. And I think you get a lot of casual fans that just see the knockouts, see a big man, 6'6", shouting, screaming, the tattoos, and think, wow, he's the future. And I think they just don't get it. And no disrespect, but I just think the casual fans maybe just don't get it.
Yeah.
Because, boy, there's only one person I think going to win that fight.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see anyway. Wilder could land, but we'll see.
We'll talk about that definitely in a minute shortly.
Yeah.
Anthony Crolla, head injury. He's stopping the burglars in his neighbour's house, done the admirable thing by going over there and trying to stop it, chased the guys off, and apparently got hit in the head viciously.
Yeah, they said a slate or brick fell and they used that to smash his head and broke his egg. And it pains me, this one, because I love Anthony Crolla a lot. I've said it on numerous videos, guys. And I mean, we're talking January the 23rd. It was going to be MEN Arena. He was supposed to headline the card. Richard Abril, you know, a legit world champion, was going to come over, and that's all done now. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to box. They're talking fractured skull. Yeah. I mean, you don't get licensed by the British Board of Boxing Control for that anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a shame. I mean, we had what? Jamie Moore a few months ago, Kell Brook.
Talking about injuries, or what kind of injuries. I watched the interview with Shaw Porter the other day, and he was talking about, do you want the Kell Brook fight? And he goes, yeah, he don't think much of Kell Brook no more. And the reporter asked him why, and the guy said, well, for him to, I heard about his leg and his stabbing, for him to go out and get himself stabbed, or tells what type of person he's about. I thought, you cheeky, ignorant little idiot.
Yeah.
seriously. Yeah, like I just said before, you got idiots out there. Just because someone stabs you in there, it doesn't make you a troublemaker or makes you whatever. People get hurt all the time. He's just bitter that he lost.
He is a bit bitter.
That's all it is, he's bitter.
But I think, to be fair, even in an interview that I done with Johnny Nelson did say that Kell Brook's kind of got to stay away from that scene. I don't necessarily think it was as random as we made, like the Anthony Crolla one. I think there was a bit more in it. But regardless, Paul shouldn't even be mentioned.
If you're out, look, I've got my missus all the time, and I'm out and about, and I'm trying to say that's not the time I'm looking to have a fight. Know what I mean? So whatever, but stuff happens. Know what I mean? You can't make judgment on people without knowing the facts. Know what I mean? For him to just, instead of saying, oh, hope he gets back, hope he gets crib, we can have a rematch, you wanna throw shots at someone for getting stabbed.
Porter's not even he's supposed to come back in January. Nothing's been mentioned yet as a possible opponent.
I hate that double standard where people feel they're better than other people. Know what I mean? It's not worth it. What else we got? The Bradley Athletics Commission bloody upheld those ridiculous scorecards in the Bradley Chase fight and the Herrera fight.
Yeah.
They're saying the judges are good and the scorecards were fair, or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that just protecting your own?
Yeah, it is. Basically, it is. And you know, it's not so much protecting your own; it's almost setting a precedent.
Yeah.
I mean, if they review those scorecards and say they both put them down as no contest, which they could do, especially for Herrera, he doesn't want another loss in his record. You start looking at every fight now. Yeah. Every fight that's a bit one-sided, everyone's gonna say, you know what? Relook at that, relook at that, relook at that. So you start to get to a stage where it could get a bit tricky. Yeah. And you're looking at every single fight, almost like the Paul Smith-Abraham one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That fight, for example, you know, so you start to get a bit, put yourself in situations you don't want. So I can kind of understand why they upheld it.
You know, it's funny as well, whereas I've tweeted in the week an interview from Max Kellerman where he just went off. They done a
fantastic interview.
A Teddy Atlas one where he just melted down and said, look, you're destroying boxing. And he made a valid point. He said, if Herrera got the decision
against Danny
Garcia and was now the undisputed 140 champion, then who did he fight last week? Beat another undefeated prospect who should have won the card last week. Yeah. People be talking about fight of the year, and this guy will be making big, serious money and having a successful life. Yeah. These bad decisions. Who's talking about him right now?
That's the thing.
They're saying he lost 2 fights in 2014 when he really won 2.
Yeah, he won 2, and that's the problem.
And should have been a champ.
At best, Danny Garcia fight was a draw. Yeah. At best, and that's for Danny Garcia. At best. And you don't forget he beat Provodnikov 4 or 5 fights earlier than that. Yeah. So you know what I mean? When Provodnikov was like the most feared, like 140 guy. Yeah. So it's a shame on Herrera.
It's killed his career.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you know, the people are looking at that scorecards and it can save him a bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. People know they're dodgy decisions, so that kind of saved him a bit. Anthony Joshua has been booked in, again, and we talked about this in the video. For April in Newcastle. Yeah. He's got a fight against Kingpin coming up. Yeah. Now, I'm starting to really dislike this. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. How can you book fights? I understand about maybe, if you like, penciling in fights. So, you know, if Anthony Johnson comes from this one, they literally rubber stamped him and booked him to fight in April when he's got a fight in January. Does that almost try to, Eddie Hearn saying this is his toughest fight he's got coming up, but then does it almost kind of contradict that by booking him again?
It devalues the fight. Yeah. It devalues the fight. What sometimes the best kept secrets are the quiet ones. Yeah. The one you just keep it quiet. Yes, it's signed in the fight. Wait until the fight is over. And then I'm trying to say, or say, if in the week of the fight, if he wins, we'll put him on the card in April. By already booking and announcing it, just tells you already that they know that Johnson's not going to come to fight.
Yeah, and it's look, the fights. I'd understand if the April, the Newcastle card was, say, I don't know, late February, early March, and you think, oh, ticket sales is too tight. 3 months between these cards. I mean, you end that fight. You got still 3 months to sell those tickets for that fight. I don't see the point in trying to announce this fight, another fight for him. I think it was pressure on him as well.
Yeah, pressure on him. It is pressure on him. Last thing I've got on here. Anthony Dirrell's been given a voluntary before Groves. Does that leave the door open for the potential Groves The girl.
110,000,000%. Wow.
Let's be honest.
When was that announced?
A couple of days ago. Darrell doesn't fight particularly often.
Yeah.
Which means if he's given a voluntary and he does a voluntary April, he's not going to fight again till end of the year, till maybe August, September, October.
I'm trying to think of when they could do the DeGale Groves fight. You almost want that to be a summer fight, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be.
It doesn't have to be a fight. Like I said, take out all the glitz and glamour. All we want is competitive fights.
Yeah.
So it could be in the snow, it could be in the ice rink. As long as it's a fair fight, that's all you want to see.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good fight, and I think it will set that DeGale Groves fight up, and it'll be a big card as well. That's a big fight, especially if they can kind of get the guy that's ranked number 2 at the IBF, almost step aside money, and let DeGale and Groves fight for a world title. As you say, you're fighting for a world title, and if DeGale does win, I think DeGale can go as far as he wants. Yeah, because Groves ain't winning. I'll tell you. All right. So that's the end. This week in boxing. That's the last one for the year. Might try and squeeze one in. I don't think so though. Around the Christmas period. I'm not sure. But look, thanks to all the subscribers.
If you're up on Christmas morning, or on Christmas week, on next Saturday to do weekend boxing, I'll be surprised. I'll try and make it. Who knows?
But look, thanks to all the subscribers. Thanks for watching the show. The show's starting to build a bit, isn't it? To be fair, it has. Numbers have grown, so thank you very much. All the Twitter followers, all the Instagram followers, all the YouTube people. You got so many things to do on YouTube.
Just so much. Even need to update the page.
Yeah.
So to all the guys out there following, I would love to mention names, but there's so many of you. I'll be embarrassed if I miss one of them. But all you guys, thanks a lot for your support throughout the whole year. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, guys, thank you.